I'm recording this podcast in the end of January, and I think it is the first time in this year when I can sit down and realistically look at my goals and aspirations and plans that I set up for myself in the end of last year and the beginning of this year. So I don't know about you, but for me, January wrapped up very quickly, and I found myself working a lot and being inside of the projects really a lot. And even though I set some time for myself to reflect on the last year and to plan this year, I still find myself a lot really doing the things, so filming and discussing with my customers what they need, what they want to see, and really working in my business. This video will be a refresher and a little reminder to step back and look at the bigger picture. I have 5 steps or tips or questions that I will share with you today to ask yourself, and that's something that I do myself as well, to ensure that I'm still on track with my goals, or maybe I'm not, and what really to do with that. Hi, and welcome to Time You Create, a podcast where I share behind the scenes of starting and growing my creative business and juggling the rest of my life, like my sports, hobbies, family, friends, and also being a mom, and how to stay creative and all that chaos. In this podcast, I'll share some ideas, insights, and also we discuss all sorts of business topics. I hope you enjoy it and find this useful. Let's go. I hope that by the end of January, you still remember your goals, your resolutions, your aspirations, your wishes that you set to yourself in the end of last year or beginning of this year. Hence, the step 1 for our exercise would be to write down your main goals and main expectations from this year. And really, I find that writing down with pen and hand is one of the best ways to actually process this information again. So first of all, most of the times I don't remember what I set up to myself in the end or beginning of this year, but when I actually put it down again, I think about it again. And now, as I already don't have this new year vibe, so it's good time with a clear head to sit down and revisit the goals. And when I write them down, I think about them and I actually revisit them and see what is still, after a month of this year, what is still important to me and what I still would love to put a lot of effort in working towards and to put my mind into that. And sometimes I realize that I don't really recognize the goal because I just forgot what I set out for myself for this year, because I haven't looked at my goals for quite a while really. And this is a good time to, first of all, remember all those goals, and secondly, realize which goals are still important to me after a year and after starting all this rush in January, which goals are really important to me. Step number 2 is to realize that you have enough energy to actually go and make those goals a reality. When I realize that I don't want to or don't feel like or procrastinate working towards my goals, that would be one of the following reasons. The first one is I don't get enough sleep or I don't get a quality sleep. And it's the times when I wake up too early or I go to bed too late, and I don't get my good hours of sleep, so I don't get enough rest. Second thing is nutritious food, and I really love very balanced food. I love a variety of foods, but sometimes I feel like I'm sleeping on the road of more unhealthy choices, and it makes me feel even worse because I don't get all the nutrients that I need to be energetic and to be creative and to be excited about the work that I'm doing. So going back to a good variety of food full of good nutrients, it's very important part of going towards my goals. And of course, movement and spending a lot of time outside. And this is tricky for me because I spend quite a lot of time just sitting in front of my computer and either editing videos or creating videos, and I rarely go outside when it's light outside, because it's not my daily routine to go outside when it's sunny outside, even though I would love to do it. But I try to move a lot. I try to do exercise at home. I try to go outside for a run, and it makes me feel tired physically, but it makes me energized overall. Tip number 3 is to start getting momentum. Sometimes we achieve goals when we start achieving goals, and those goals don't have to be huge or something exceptional. Some little steps and celebration of those little steps is very important. So when I set myself some little goal of, let's say, exercising 2 times a week and I achieve this goal, it's a celebration. So I feel this fulfillment and I'm ready to tackle the next week. And the same with my business. When I set up myself a goal to reach out to 5 creators and I do it, it makes me more motivated to continue going and continue reaching my goals. Step number 4 is to tackle the planning. And in the previous podcast, I mentioned that whenever possible, I try to put in my calendar all the necessary things that will bring me towards my goals. So I break down my big goals to more little steps and I put those steps in my calendar so I know what and when and where I need to do. This is the best thing that worked for me. And yeah, whenever something comes up unexpectedly, I of course can move things around, but I know that in order to achieve the goals, my steps towards those goals are really already in my calendar. Step number 5 is to find a company. For me personally, starting and growing my own business has been a very lonely journey because people I know, they are either not interested in this sort of topics, or they are quite far away in terms of their growth, or they are just physically far away and they can't relate to the things that are topical and important for me here, like all the little nuances that are important for me here being in the UK. And I think one of the best things that I found very useful for me was to find a community who has similar interests and just being present there, finding people who share the same values, who can support you on your journey, or the people who need support from me, which I'm happy to give because I know how lonely it can be, really. For me, I found the Facebook community where I feel comfortable, and it wasn't the first or the second or the third one that I joined, but yeah, just find the people around you who are in similar boat and who you can explain what's on your mind and just help with your worries and celebrate your successes. And step number 6, I know I mentioned I have 5 steps, but this is very important, and it's to have time to celebrate wins and to have time to have rest, because I think this is something that I'm implementing in my work and my business this year, and I already see results. I already see how happy I am to celebrate in the end of the month the achievements I had during this month. And I think it's the best way to keep energized and keep motivated going after the goals that are important to you. And thank you for watching this video. Thank you for joining this podcast, and I will hear and see you in the next one. Bye.